Okay, hello everybody, this is Miss Gilbert. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really fun faux watercolor flower landscape. Okay, so the supplies you're going to need are some watercolor paper, a Sharpie, a set of markers, a gallon Ziploc bag, and a spray bottle. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is draw some really fun flowers. You can draw flowers however you want. You can see in my drawing that I've got a sort of realistic flower, and then I made up my own little flowers. So you can draw flowers however you want. I'm going to start by making up my own little circular flower. Doesn't quite look like a circle, but that's okay up here. Maybe it has a little curly cues up here, all right? Your flowers can look however you want them to look. That's the fun of art, is we get to show our imaginations on paper. So I'm going to keep drawing these flowers. Maybe I'll put some lines right there and bring down this stem, and maybe I'll make this stem get kind of big at the bottom and have some black and white lines. When you do Zentangles, these are called BJ juice, like Beetlejuice. And since it's a circle and I made this little oval type shape, maybe that oval shape is what the leaves look like. You are free to pause this video anytime you like and draw your flowers. This time, let's draw a flower more like what we think a flower might look like, with a circle in the middle and some petals. I think I'll be able to fit 5 petals in here. Hope I may have to sneak one in right there. Did. If you think this looks a little too boring, you can jazz it up or not. This is all about making flowers that you like. There's no right or wrong way to draw these. If you mess up, just draw a darker border. Maybe this one's super curly. And snaky. And it has curly Q leaves. Okay. Maybe you have a cute little bee buzzing by. So to make a bee, you just start with a triangular pointer. Okay, I did just a little triangle. And then a big circle body. Put 2 little petals up here for his wings. And then draw his little lines and his little face in. Little cutie pie. Sniffing the flowers. And a little smiley face on him. Okay, maybe yours has a little bee. Maybe you want a couple of butterflies to fly around your garden with their little antenna. And again, this is like petals. 1 petal, 2. You can have the inside. And color those black if you like. Okay, now maybe down here we have a little snail critter. To draw a snail, you start with a circle. Okay, your circles don't have to be perfect. Then you go in and just draw a curlicue. To make the little snail's body, you just snake him out of there with his happy little antenna. And see what kind of face does he have. You can draw the eyes real close together and then a real big smile. So he's a happy little guy. If you want, you can have a little tail peeking out, but you don't have to. Okay, so let's see what's over here on our paper. Well, now maybe we go back to some crazy flowers. Maybe this is kind of like a tulip. That sprouts. A little sprouty guy, kind of like a cupcake on top. Okay, and every flower does need some leaves. Let's have another little tiny butterfly visit this flower. Little baby. So maybe this is all the flowers that you want to draw. Maybe you want to get real fancy and draw a decorative border. No one says you can't do that. And maybe this is a vine that has cherries on it. We don't know. It's kind of like living in a Trolls world, huh? I hope you've seen the Trolls movies and Trolls World Tour. I think that would be a pretty exciting place to live. So here's my little flowerscape that I've drawn, and I've brought some friends in to visit the flowers. So now we're gonna add the color in a really, really cool way. So let's put our drawing aside. Remember, it's really important to draw with Sharpie. Get your Ziploc bag, and you wanna make sure that the Ziploc bag side that you can write on right here faces away from you. You wanna not be able to read that when you look at it. So take your Ziploc bag, and now you're gonna color this the way that you want your color to be on your paper. Since I've already done a rainbow, this time I'm gonna use some blues and pinks and purple. I want to choose colors that when they are set next to each other and they bleed together, they won't make a brown. So I know that all of these colors will blend together and make a pretty pink and purple will blend together to make a nice pretty blue violet almost. And purple and blue will blend together to make a nice pretty, I'm sorry, this just said red violet, to make a nice pretty blue violet. Okay, but you can do this however you want. It also depends how much marker you put down, how much your paper is going to get inked, okay? I didn't put a whole lot down over around in here, so that's why this didn't bleed, and it also had to do with how much water I used. So I think a nice good scribbling will do. And I'm gonna do this kind of random, okay? Some areas purple, some areas blue, and some pink. And I'm even gonna go up in here and kind of mix those colors together. I'm not real sure that it matters, but we'll see. This is kind of messy, so you'll have to clean up your table afterwards. You want to be careful with your Sharpie. I got Sharpie on my table because I know I can take some alcohol and get it off my table. But if you're working on a table that you know you really shouldn't get anything on, you can put down some wax paper and tape it to the table first. That's always really good for keeping an area safe and protected. I think I'll hide some pink down here in the corner and add a little bit of blue down here. So I want to see how these colors mix together. It's going to be the exciting part. The next two parts are really, really fun. What do you think we do next? We've got to get this on the paper somehow. How do you think we do it? How do you think we do it? Okay, let's make sure when we're fully done with our markers that we push that cap down real good so that they don't dry out. Okay, so now this is the really fun and magical part. We've got our Ziploc bag fully colored with marker. Now we need to get it on our paper. If you remember, I told you needed a spray bottle. So you are going to take it and spray your bag. You want to make sure that every part of your bag gets sprayed. I did not do that with my rainbow. I was a little sparingly, and that is why I think I had a lot of these spots. So now you're going to pick up your bag and replace it with your artwork. And I may have sprayed too much. Then take your bag and put it down over your artwork, and then you can have fun blending all the colors together. And just mix and push the paint around, because now you've made watercolor paint. And I know that this paper is a little bit bigger than this bag, and you can leave some white spots too if you want. So what we're going to do as we finish is scoot the bag, and then just push the paint. Scoot the bag and push the paint. Scoot the bag and push that paint. We can lift it up. Maybe get some blues over here. I couldn't necessarily do this when I did my other one, right? Because I had rainbow, so I had to be really careful how I pushed it. Now, if you do not like how some of this looks, it's a little too dark, you can right now immediately take a paper towel and you can do that, sponge some up, and that's also going to give you some texture when it dries. Not entirely sure how much texture, because I have never done this technique before. I'm learning it with you. How cool. Thank you, Madison, for inspiring this project with your love of the disco ball. I know some others who loved it too. Okay, so I will just leave this right here and let it dry. But as you see, I do have a mess around me, okay? So I'm just gonna clean this up with paper towels and water. The red and yellow have stained my table a little bit, but I know it will come up when I clean it with cleaner. But if you are working at home on a nice surface, I heavily suggest you tape down some wax paper first. I probably sprayed too many sprays. I think 4 or 5 sprays is enough. I feel like I sprayed about 6 or 7. So now I'm gonna just wipe off this bag and I can save it for next time. So here is my finished piece. It needs to dry, and I cannot wait to see yours.